In last class, I have discussed about the settlement calculation for granular soil by using the field test data. Then I have discussed how to calculate the settlement for the by using plate load test data, then for the SPT test and for the CPT test or static cone penetration test. Now, this class I will explain a few other techniques to determine the settlement for the granular soil, and then I will solve a couple of problems to show how to use those, how to calculate the settlement by using various field data. Now, first that I have discussed about the techniques for the using the CPT. So, there is another technique by using the SCPT data. So, by using the SCPT data, so this technique is proposed by Schemartman and Hartman in 1978. According to their procedure, that your settlement that will get the settlement calculation, that is C1, C2, this is Q bar by Q minus Q into summation of I z by E into del z. So, this is the expression where C1 is given by this expression 1 minus 0.5 by Q minus Q bar minus Q, and C2 is another expression that is given 1 plus 0.2 log 10 T divided by 0.1. Now, here this Q is the effective overburden pressure, where Q is overburden pressure at the foundation base level, or basically we can say that Q is basically gamma into dF. Now, Q bar is the pressure, although coming as a load, that means the footing pressure, which is coming from the superstructure. Now, here T is the time in year. So, suppose if you want to determine the settlement at 1 year, then you will put T equal to 1. If you want to put at settlement at 5 years, then T will be 5. Now, del Z is the thickness of soil layer So, where del Z is the thickness of the soil layer, E is the elastic modulus of the soil layer, and I z, that value will use by the will get one value that will get from the chart. So, this I z will get from the chart. So, this chart you have to prepare. I will explain how to prepare this chart. So, that means the settlement, the total settlement that we will get for the different layer soil. If it is a layer soil, then C 1 into C 2 to Q minus Q bar minus Q in summation of I z, E and del z, where del z is the thickness of each soil layer, E is the elastic modulus of the soil layer, I z that will prepare this chart, and then from there you will get the I z value, and C 1 you will get by using this expression, and C 2 by using this expression, where T is the time in year. Q is the effective overburden pressure at the foundation base level and Q bar is the footing pressure. Now, to determine the I z, so suppose this I z will get at the base of the footing. Suppose this is the footing base, and this is a ground surface, ground level, and this is footing base, and this is d f is the depth of the footing. So, at this level, and this is the b is the width of the footing, d f is the depth of the footing, b is the width of the footing, and this is at the footing base. Then here below this footing base, if we draw this line, suppose this is for the B, this is for the 2B, this is for 3B, and this is for 4B. So, this is B, this is 2B line, this is 3B line, and this is 4B line. So, you will get this chart. Suppose this is 0.1, this is 0.2, this is 0.3, this is 0.4, and this is 0.5. Point 1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.45. So, that means here this is 0, this value is in this direction, this is I z, that coefficient, this is 0.5, this is 0.4, this one is 0.1. So, that means this is 0.1, 0.1, this is 0.2, this is 0.3, this is 0.4, and this is 0.5. Now, this one is the point at the B distance. Now, for the axisymmetric condition, this graph you have to draw from point 1 to this 2B, and for plane strain condition, this will be the graph. That means, this is for the plane strain condition, where L by B is greater than 10, and this is for the axisymmetric condition, similarly for the square or circular footing. So, we will get the two graphs, one that is starting from point 1 I z, and then this is the maximum at B by 2 distance, that is for the axisymmetric graph. This is corresponding to B by 2 distance, then up to point 2B, if up to 2B, this is minimum. And then for the plane strain condition, this graph will start from point 2, then at B, this is maximum, then it will go up to 4B. So, this is plane strain condition, this is the axisymmetric condition. So, now from this graph we will get the I z value, suppose the for at any distance, because the you have to consider the center point of the each soil layer, then at that point what will be the I z that you have to determine. So, now if we solve one example, and then we will get how to calculate or how to get the this value. Suppose this is the one footing that we are getting this value. This is the footing width, so footing width is, we are considering that this footing width is B. So, suppose this is the footing width, where footing we have to place here. So, this is the B, which is footing width. Okay, now, here that intensity of the loading that we are applying here for the footing, that intensity is q bar at the footing base. We are talking about this is the footing base, this line is basically the footing base. So, intensity that suppose this is 150 kilonewton per meter square, and this depth of the footing is 2 meter, and due to this 2 meter soil, the intensity of the footing of the load that is coming at this point, that means q is 30 kilonewton per meter square. So, that means q bar is 150 kilonewton meter square, that means the footing pressure at the base of the footing, that is 150 kilonewton per meter square, and the q effective overburden pressure at the base of the footing, that is gamma df, is it coming out to be 30, say this is 30 kilonewton per meter square, where df is 2 meter, and the footing intensity is 150 kilonewton per meter square, and depth we are getting. So, this is the footing width is taken, the given is 2.5 meter. So, the B of the footing, width of the footing is 2.5 meter, and L of the footing is 30 meter. So, this is we can say L by B is greater than 10. So, we have to go for the plane strain condition. So, this is for plane strain condition. Strain condition. Now, first we will consider or we will calculate, and we have to calculate the settlement at 5 years. Okay. So, now what are the soil data that I will give later on. First, I have to prepare that chart to determine the I z. So, suppose this point, if I take from this point, so this is a 0 0. So, this is B, 2B, this is 0, B, 2B, 3B. So, this is B, where B is 2.5 meter. This is 3B, 2B, that is 5 meter. This is 7.5 meter, and this one is 10 meter. So, these are the this is the depth in meter. So, this is B, 5 B, 7.5 B, 3 B, 2 B, 3 B, and 4 B. So, you have to go for up to 4 B depth. So, this is 4 B. Next, suppose this point is 0.1, this is 0.2, this is 0.3, this is 0.4, and this is 0.5. Now, as this is plane strain condition, so that means That means, at this condition have to go for B depth starting from point 2, then if I go for up to the B and then from here up to 4 B. So, this is the chart from here, this is showing the I z, this value is 0.1, 0.2. So, this is 0.1, this is 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 and this one is 0.5. So, once we have prepared this chart, now we will give the, so this chart we will use to determine the I z value. So, this is this B 0 is the base of the footing, from here it will start B, 2 B, 3 B and 4 B, because for this you have to go for the 4 B depth. Now, if I give the other properties, that first you have to calculate the C 1 and C 2 value, that C 1 value is 1 minus 0.5 into that C 1 value, that will give, this is in terms of Q by Q bar minus Q. So, this value is coming 1 minus 0.4, Q is here 30, Q bar 150, Q is 30. Because Q is 30 kilonewton per meter square and Q bar is 150 kilonewton per meter square. So, C 1 value is coming 0.875. Similarly, that C 2 value 1 plus 0.2 log 10, because we are calculating at the 5 year, this is 5 by 0.1. So, this is coming 1.34 C 1 and C 2. So, this is after 5 years. Now, we have to prepare one table. So, suppose this is the table you have to prepare. The first column is the layer, this is layer, this is the del z or the thickness of the each layer in meter. This is the Q c value, Q c is the static cone resistance value in the each layer. E s is kilonewton per meter square, elastic modulus. Then Z value at the of each layer. So, Z is the Z at the center of each layer, and I z that you will get at the center of each layer. And then we will calculate I z by E and del z for the each layer. So, this is the total table that we will prepare. This is I z by E into del z. So, this for the first one, for the layer 1, the thickness that is given is thickness of the soil. For the layer soil, first layer is 1 meter, whose Q c is 2500, because these are the measured value 2500 kilonewton per meter square. And one thing that it is mentioned, that how to calculate the E, the base with respect of Q c. Now, if this Q c will E will get E s, it is 3.5 Q c for plane strain condition. For plane strain condition. Now, E s will give this value. So, that means the E s, and similarly we will get E s equal to 2.5 into Q c for square or circular footing. So, Q s equal to 2.5 Q c for the square and circular, and Q c is 3.5 Q c for the plane strain. So, here the recommendation, this is for the circular or for the square, this is 2.5 Q c for the square and circular, and Q c is 3.5 into Q c, that E s for the plane strain. Here this is for the plane strain. So, we will use this 3.5 into Q c. Now, here Q c value is given 2500. So, if I multiply the 3.5, we will get 8750 is the E value, kilonewton per meter square. So, this is kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, at the center, because this is the first layer whose thickness is 1 meter. So, the center will be 0.5 meter. This is the center of the first layer, that is 0.5 meter. Now, from the chart that I have prepared, so this is the chart. Now, here this is 2.5. So, this distance, so that means this will be 0.15, 0.5. So, 0.5 corresponding I, this value is around 0.23. So, this is the 0.5 depth corresponding to this I z value, this is 0.5 corresponding to this graph, this I z is 0.23. So, in this version we will get the I z value 0.23, and then we will calculate this term, this is coming 2.63 into 10 to the power minus 5. Now, we will go for the second layer whose thickness is given 1.5, Q c value, the measure value 3500. Now, if I consider 3.5 Q c, so this is coming 12250 is the E s value. Then Z center, this will be, so this is for center of this layer is, that means this Z value you have to measure from the top. So, this is 0.5 meter from the ground surface or from the base of the footing. So, this will be center will be 1.5 by 2, this is 0.75 plus 1. So, this will be 1.75 from the base of the footing. So, corresponding I z we will calculate here. So, 1.75. So, be somewhere here. So, 1.75 corresponding value will be 0.385. So, here this will be 0.385, corresponding value this is 0.385. So, this value is 4.71 into 10 to the power minus 5. So, similarly, for the third layer, this thickness is 2 meter, Q c value 6500. So, this is coming 22750. The thickness will be 2.5 plus 1, 3.5. The Z value from the center, the I z from the graph is 0.45. So, this value is 3.96 into 10 to the power minus 5. Similarly, for the fourth layer, this is 0.5 say, and for the fifth layer, this thickness is 2 meter. For the sixth layer, the thickness of the layer is 2 meter, and seventh layer, the thickness of layer is 1 meter. So, this is the 7 layers are present, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, first layer is 1 meter, second layer is 1.5 meter thickness, third layer is 2 meter thickness, say fourth layer is 0.5 meter thickness, fifth layer is 2 meter thickness, sixth layer is 2 meter thickness, seventh layer is also 1 meter thickness. And corresponding QC value here, this value is 2000 say, and E will get into 2000 into 3.5, this is 7000. For this 2 meter layer, this is 10,000 QC. So, this E value will be 35,000. For the 6th layer, this is 4,000, corresponding E will be 14,000 kilonewton per meter square. For the last layer, this is 6,000, corresponding E will be 21,000. And the center for this thing, this will be 1.5, 2.5, 4.5 plus 0.25. So, 4.75, this will be 4.75. Similarly, this layer, this is 2.5, 4.5, 5 plus 1, this is 2 layer thickness. So, center will be 1. So, 5 plus 1, this is 6 meter. Similarly, this is also 8 meter and this will be 9.5 meter. Now, corresponding I z value we will get from the chart is 0.35, this is 0.265, this is 0.13 and this is 0.06. So, this value we will get from the chart. This is the center Z thickness from the base of the footing at the center of each layer. At the center of each layer, this is the thickness. Corresponding this value is coming 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 5. This is 1.51 into 10 to the power minus 5. This is 1.86 into 10 to the power minus 5, and this is 286 into 10 to the power minus 5, 0.286 into 10 to the power minus 1. Now, if we sum this last column, value, now the summation of this last column value, this will give us the value 17.46 into 10 to the power minus 5. The summation of this last column, that summation will give us 17.46 in 10 to the power minus 5. Now, next here now we will know the C 1 value, we know the C 2 value, we know this summation term. So, this Z. So, now we will put the, we will calculate the settlement. Now, the settlement that we will get. So, this settlement is C 1 into C 2 to q bar minus q into summation of I z by E into del z. Now, C 1 value is 0.875, C 2 is 1.34, this is after 5 years. Q bar is 150 kilonewton per meter square, Q is 30 kilonewton per meter square, and summation of I z E into del z, that is equal to 17.46 into 10 to the power minus 5. Now, if we put this value here, S is 0.875 into 1.34, this is 150 minus 30, then into 17.46 into 10 to the power minus 5. So, this value is coming 25 millimeter. So, the settlement of this total soil layer under this loading condition is 25 millimeter after 5 years. Now, by using this difference, so suppose if I want to calculate the settlement after 1 year, then we have to put this, we have to modify the C 1 C 2 coefficient by putting t equal to 1 year, then we can multiply this settlement by this new C2 and divide it by the old C2, then we will get the settlement of the soil at the 1 year also. So, this is the calculation, and then how there this method, this is the another method by where you are using SCPT value and we are getting the settlement for the granular soil. Now, the next method that we want to discuss, that is another method which is this is the semi empirical method. That is presented by Buisman 1948. Here the settlement is calculated by the summation of 2.3 into P 0 bar by E into H into log 10 P 0 bar plus del P by P 0 bar, or you can say this is sigma 0 bar or del sigma P, both are same, where P 0 bar is effective overburden pressure and del P is the stress increment due to footing load. E is the elastic modulus of the soil, and H is the thickness of the soil layer. So, by using this expression also we can determine the settlement of the granular soil by using this semi empirical expression. So, these are all for the granular soil. Now, if we summarize the different different techniques to determine the granular soil settlement calculation, then we can say that the settlement of foundation on sand or granular soil, the first one method is by the elastic theory method. So, by this method we calculate the settlement is by using Q n B E 1 minus mu square into I f. So, this expression I have already given when we will discuss about the immediate settlement. So, this is the immediate settlement or by using the elastic theory. This Q n is the net footing pressure. This is the net footing pressure, B is the width of the foundation, E is the elastic modulus, mu is the Poisson ratio, I f is the influence factor. Now, I have presented one table and here I have explained how to calculate this I f value. The next method, that is the semi empirical method, that I have just now I have explained, it is the semi empirical method. And this is given by Buisman in 1948. So, this is the where I will calculate summation of 2.3, this is P 0 by E into H log 10 P 0 bar, this is also P 0 bar into del P 0 bar. So, next one is the plate load test. Where this expression we are using S f by S p equal to B f B p plus 30 into B p B f plus 30 to the power whole square. This is for the granular soil. Now, next method that we are using, that from the SPT chart, that is presented in IS 8009 part 1 1976. By using the SPT chart also we can determine the settlement, and then from SCPT value. So, here the expression S I we can calculate by 2.3 into H divided by C into log 10. This is P 0 bar plus del P into P 0 bar, where C will get by using this expression 1.5 Q C by P 0 bar. This is proposed by De Beers. This expression is proposed by De Beers and Martin, or we can use C equal to 1.9 Q C P 0 bar, that is proposed by Miharov. So, now the last method or the next one is given by, this is also based on SPT value, Skemterman, Skemterman and Hartmann. This is 1978. So, here we will get this value by C 1 into C 2, this is Q minus Q 0 at the footing base, the summation of Z equal to 0 to 2B or 4B. So, this is the summation of I Z E into del Z, where this is 2B or 4B, that for if it is axisymmetric condition, that is square or circular, then the Z is from the base of the footing from 0 to 2B, the summation up to 2B. If it is a plane strain condition, then you have to go for 0 to 4B up to 4B condition, then you will get the, if we sum these things, we will get this value of the settlement. So, these are the methods by which we can determine the settlement of the granular soil under different loading condition. Now, if in the next section, that now we will solve one problem and then we will compare the, we will determine this value of the settlement value by using these different techniques. Then we will compare about the what is the settlement that we are getting by using this different method. Now, first if I the settlement calculation for these different methods, and there is a problem that we are taking. So, suppose this is the foundation, this is ground line, this is the foundation width, say 4 meter, this is a square foundation, square footing, whose dimension 4 meter cross 4 meter. Now, this depth of foundation is 1 meter and the position of the water table is as the base of the footing. Now, this is the layer 1 and this is layer 2. This is for the medium sand. That gamma we are taking 18 kilonewton per meter cube, QC value we are taking 10,000 kilonewton per meter square. E value for the first layer we are taking this is 25,000 kilonewton per meter square. For the second layer also we assume the same gamma, that is 18 kilonewton per meter cube. QC value we are taking 12,000 kilonewton per meter square and E for the second layer is 30,000 kilonewton per meter square. Now, the total load that is coming, the total load or load Q is 2000 kilonewton. So, this is the layer. So, this layer here the up to this layer thickness, first layer thickness is 4 meter and second layer thickness is 6 meter. So, we are taking the influence zone. If we use the different methods on all the methods, because it is in a square footing, even in the last method also the influence zone will be up to 2b. So, here up to 8 meter, that means up to this 2b there will be influence zone. So, we are taking 2 points the center of the each layer, because this is the influence zone up to 2b. So, that means this layer is 2 meter from the base of the foundation and this layer is also 2 meter from the end of the first layer. Now, we will use the different method. First, we will use the elastic theory. So, we will use the elastic theory first. So, here the E value elastic theory, the S I of settlement, that is Q n B by E into 1 by mu square into I f influence factor. Now, Q n here we can calculate, this is 2000 divided by 4 cross 4. So, this value is coming out to be 125 kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, B is here 4 meter. E we are taking the weighted average value, because here 4 meter influence zone, 4 meter for the first layer and 4 meter for the second layer. So, we can take the average one, or this E value that we are taking, that is 25000 into 4 plus 3000 into 4 divided by 8, or we can simply take the average of 2 layers. So, this is coming out to be 27500 kilonewton per meter square. Now, here we assume that mu value is 0.3 for this strand, and I f we can calculate this I f is value is 1.12 from the table. This table I have already given. So, from this table this I f value is coming 1.12. So, now this if I put this all the calculation value, then we can get the S I will be 125 into 4 divided by 27500 1 by 0.3 1 minus 0.3 square into 1.12. Now, in this calculation you have to use the correction factor, because here this is the isolated footing. So, this is rigid, this is not rigid. So, rigidity correction is not required. So, this is a sandy soil. So, consolidation correction due to the consolidation, that is also not required. So, only the depth correction you have to apply here. Now, to calculate the depth corrections, so for the depth corrections or the Fox correction, so now the d root L b, that value is 0.25 here, and L by b equal to 1. So, the correction factor is around 0.94, that we will get from the chart. So, if L by b equal to 1 and d this value 0.25, we will get 0.94. So, now we have to multiply here 0.94. So, we will get the corrected value. So, S I immediate corrected, that is 17.42 millimeter. So, this is the settlement by using the elastic theory approach. Now, this settlement is coming 17.42 after the correction, because we have applied the correction factor. This is the correction factor we have applied. So, this will coming 17.42 millimeter. Now, the next method is by the semi empirical method. If I use the same expression, same problem by using the semi empirical method. So, here we have taken 2 points, because this is the 2 points at the two center of these 2 layers. This is for the first layer, thickness is 4 meter and the center is A point. The first second layer thickness up to the influence zone, it is we are taking the 4 meter and this is of the center. So, A and B 2 points. So, now we have to calculate the sigma 0 at A, that is P 0 or sigma 0 bar is 18 plus 1, 18 into 1 plus 2 into 8, because for the below the ground water table is at the base of the footing. So, this is 8 into 2. So, this is coming 34 kilonewton per meter square. Now, del P, if I consider 1:2 distribution, del P will be 125 into 4 into 4 divided by 4 plus 2 into 4 plus 2, because we have considered 1:2 distribution. So, this is coming 55.55 kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, at point B, P 0 bar is 18 plus 1, 18 into 1 plus 4 into 18 plus 2 into 8. So, 4 into 8 plus 2 into 8. So, this is 66 kilonewton per meter square, and del P by using same 1:2 distribution, this is coming 20 kilonewton per meter square. So, now the final expression for this method S I will get, this is 2.3 into 34 is the P 0 bar, E is 25000 for this layer E, and 4 is the thickness of this layer. Then log 34 plus 55.55 divided by 34 plus 2.3 into 66 divided by 3000, because this is the elastic modulus of the second layer, thickness is 4 meter for the second layer also. This is 1066 plus 20 divided by 66. So, here you will get the settlement 5.3 plus 2.33. So, this total settlement is 7.63 millimeter, and after the correction, if we multiply the depth correction here, this is 0.94, the S I after correction, this value is coming 7.2 millimeter. Now, if I go for the next method, that is from this SPT value, that is from This is next method from SCPT value. So, here first we consider the Meyerhof expression, where C for the first layer this is 1.9, then this value is Q c by P 0 bar. So, 1.9 Q c is 10,000, P 0 bar is 34. So, this value is 558.8. Now, C for the second layer is also 1.9, Q c is here 12,000 and this value is 66. So, this is 345.5. Now, if I calculate this S I, the expression is 2.3 into 4, that is the H by C 558.8 for the first layer into 34 plus 55.55 divided by 34 plus 2.3 into 4 divided by 3, 45.5 into log 10, 66 plus 20 divided by 60. So, this value after the calculation we will get, this value is coming 6.92 plus 3.06. So, that is 9.98 millimeter. After corrections, if I apply the correction, if I multiply the depth correction factor, that is 0.94. So, this is 9.98 into 0.94. This is around 9.4 millimeter. So, now if I convert this is by this de Beers method on Morton method, then this settlement is 9.4 into 1.9 divided by 1.5. So, this is 12 millimeter. Similarly, by using the next technique, that is the D technique, using the Schamertman and Hartmann technique, this is 1978, that we have done. This is why, because here this is the axisymmetric condition, this is square footing, though it will vary the graph that we have to draw. This will start from point 1, then up to b by 2, this will give the maximum, then it will go up to twice b. Now, because this method I have already explained how to use this method and calculate the, this I have explained for the plane strain condition, here it is the axisymmetric condition, and the only difference is that here instead of this graph, when you calculate the influence factor, this factor I z, then this point will start from the point 1, then it will maximum at maximum that value is 0.5 at b by 2, then it will go 0 at 2b, and then by using the at the center, here is 2 points, the center is one center is point is at the b a, another center is at the b, and there. So, this we have to calculate the I z value, then C 1 value, C 2 value. Here we have calculated the C 1 at the 1 year. So, this value at this S I is coming out to be 11.78. This is after 1 year, and this is coming say 9.7 meter. This is after 1 month. So, we can, if I compare the values. So, for the elastic method, method 1, this value for the elastic method, the value this is coming out to be, this is a 17.42 millimeter. For the second method or semi empirical method, this value that is coming 7.2 millimeter, and for the C, for the Meharov, this is coming 9.4 millimeter, this is 1, and for De Beers and Morton it is coming 12 millimeter, and D method is coming 9.7, or you can say this is 11.78 millimeter for the 1 year, and 9.7 millimeter after 1 month. So, from these things we can say that this elastic theory is giving higher settlement, that means it is overestimate this the meeting the settlement value, this is the giving the higher settlement value, and the B method by using the semi empirical method, that is giving the lowest settlement value, and other values are more or less same, but only the maximum one is given by the elastic theory and minimum is given by the semi empirical method, and whereas the CPT by using SCPT value, these values are almost same. And although this it is expected that it is obvious that the Meharov theory is giving lesser settlement by if I consider the C for the De Beers or Morton, but the maximum one is given by the elastic settlement, elastic theory. So, in the next class I will discuss that how to calculate the bearing capacity and the settlement of the foundation, and based on this bearing capacity and settlement constant. Here until now we have considered the settlement calculation, we have done the settlement or either bearing or settlement. In the next class I will consider the how to using the this both criteria, and then how to design or choose the dimension of a footing or the depth of a footing by using the considering settlement and bearing criteria both, and then I will also explain how to apply the depth correction when we will calculate the settlement based on SPT or based on plate load test data.